And what winds up happening there is, like I said before, you get this downward spiral of relationships start to suffer, communication starts to suffer, your sleep starts to suffer. You get anxious, you get depressed. And these are very negative downward spirals because it's really hard to get out of once you start. Because then you start to look at everything from this negative perspective. From this perspective of, man, this went bad. Oh, now this thing went bad. And when you start looking for problems, you're going to find them. Welcome back to No Have Cakes podcast. My name is Jim Sabellico, and this is a Mindset Monday episode, and I am pumped for it because I love starting the week with a good mindset. If you're new here, I just want to take a quick second to just ask you a question. Could you do me a favor and just share this with somebody? This show, the reason why I do this is with the intention of helping people live a more full life. And that's a more full life in their relationships, in their personal life, in their professional life, in their spiritual life. Like, I want every part of your life to be full. And in order for us to get in front of more people, I need to get in front of more people. And to be honest with you, it's not happening as fast as I want it to. And that's not deterring me from continuing to do this. Okay, I made a commitment, I'm going to continue to do this, but I need to ask your help in getting the message out. And again, it's not for selfish reasons, it's not because I want to say how awesome I am, but I genuinely love helping and serving other people. If you know me at any level of depth, you know that to be the case. But I can't help people if people don't know that I exist, don't know that this message exists. And I want people to be able to have that fullness in life. So I know for me how much better my life is once I've found a lot of these same solutions and the same things that I continue to talk about here. But if I can't get in front of that person, if I can't ask for your help in liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing the things that seem silly to ask for, I must feel selfish to ask for them. But it's important to me that this message gets out. That we don't live in a society of people who are broken, who are hating on each other because they just don't have the answers. I'm not saying that I have all of the answers. But what I'm saying is the conversations that we're having here are helpful, they're positive, they're going to help people live a more full life. They're going to at least spark some level of conversation about, is this the right way? Could we do better? So I want to get that message out, and I want people to understand there is a better way to go through it. And again, I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm not saying my way is the only way. But if you take a nugget from this, if there is some level of inspiration, if this moves you in some positive way, if this is a message you need to hear today, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and do the person you're going to share this with a favor, and share this with somebody. We need to start moving the needle with our culture and our community to start living better. And it starts with small, simple actions, which you may think are insignificant. But man, you text this link to someone and say, hey, check this out. Let me know what you think. That one little seed of inspiration might be all they need to just move their day in a better direction. And that's what we're looking to do. I'm not looking to be the most popular podcaster in the world. I'm looking to help one person. And if I can help one person live a better life, that one person can inspire one other person, now I don't care if I have to do this one person at a time. But I'm committed to helping people. I'm committed to helping people not go through that half cake moment in their life. I want everyone to come home to a full cake in their life every freaking day. And that's in their physical fitness, that's in their relationships, that's in their finances, it's in their faith. I want every part of your life to be full. I want you to have sacrifices. I don't want you to have a $1 million business and a terrible home life. I don't want you to have a great relationship and a failing business. I want you to have it all. And it's possible to have it all, but we got to do it together. So with that, I want to get into today's Mindset Monday. And if you're new to Mindset Mondays, just a quick reminder, Mindset Mondays are about giving you a positive perspective for the week. For this week, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on mindfulness. And a lot of people might not even know what mindfulness is. It's being where your feet are. It sounds relatively simple. Yeah, I'm sitting in a chair, I'm sitting in the car, I'm standing at my desk, I am where I am. But are you really? Or are you in your head thinking about the conversation that happened half an hour ago? Are you thinking about the thing that you should be doing right now? Are you thinking about your obligations? Are you thinking about something someone said to you? Most of us are not able to be where we are because we're stuck. And what winds up happening is you let 15 bad seconds of your day give you a bad day. Mindfulness is the ability to think about where you are right now. To be like, all right, cool. That thing that just happened 10 minutes ago, it sucked. It was a bad 10 minutes, but it wasn't a bad day. Right? You're able to process that stuff and let it be what it was. I'm not saying you have to not allow yourself to feel feelings. I want you to feel feelings. I want you to embrace it when you're in it. But then you got to leave it where it was. Then you got to move forward. You got to keep going forward to where you are right now. Because there's a lot of people who maybe you had an argument with your wife yesterday. Or maybe you yelled at your kid and now you feel bad. Or maybe business isn't what it's supposed to be and you're taking it out on your employees. Look, this is a real thing that happens every freaking day for people. And it creates this negative spiral of all of a sudden you're taking out your emotions and your anger on other people, and this downward spiral where now, instead of just you having a bad 10 minutes, you've created a bad day for someone else. You've now started creating this environment where everyone's pissed at you because you're pissed at them because you had a bad 10 minutes earlier in the day. And now what you're doing is you're letting that infect your entire day. So that's the concept here of mindfulness. And that's what I want to encourage you to do, is to look at how often does that happen in your life? And this is an honest answer. It's you don't have to tell me, you don't have to tell anybody, but I want you to start thinking about how often for you do you find yourself sitting in a situation where you're letting a bad 10 minutes give you a bad day? How often do you find yourself having a situation come up where something happens and it causes you to be in a bad mood? And all of a sudden that bad mood starts being infectious toward other people. You start letting it affect your work, your personal relationships, your customers, your friends, people who are nowhere near connected to the original, bad 10 minutes, but all of a sudden now, because you're unable to let that thing go, to fully process it and leave where it was, you're dragging that thing through the rest of your day. And what winds up happening there is, like I said before, you get this downward spiral of relationships start to suffer, communication starts to suffer, your sleep starts to suffer. You get anxious, you get depressed. And these are very negative downward spirals because it's really hard to get out of once you start. Because then you start to look at everything from this negative perspective. From this perspective of, man, this went bad. Oh, now this thing went bad. And when you start looking for problems, you're going to find them. And it's going to start to reinforce that belief that everything is just awful. And the more that you start to believe that, the more you're going to start to see that. But if you can get yourself to compartmentalize, I'm not saying you're going to put it in a box and forget the emotion exists. I need you to feel the feeling first. Because a lot of times, especially as men, we're like, I'm fine. And you just shut it off and you leave it there and you never process it. Until all that stuff builds up and builds up and builds up and explodes because we never dealt with it the first time. I wanted to be very clear. I'm not asking you to do that. The opposite of that. I want you to feel the feelings. Okay, you need to be able to go through those feelings and feel them. Deal with them, process them, and then leave them where they were. A tremendous part that helps with that is relationships. I talk a lot about the importance of relationships and having a good circle of people around you, having a tribe. If you need a tribe, go to the Tad Better Club. It's a group on Facebook. There's a group of people there who are unequivocally an amazing group of people who will be a tribe for you. You can go process your day because you can't do it by yourself. You cannot just feel this thing and then shut it off and then pretend it never happened alone. Sometimes, you're going to have to do that by yourself. Right? You're not going to have to run and tell your story to everyone every time you have a bad 10 minutes. But as you're starting to walk through this, as you're starting to go from amateur to pro, you're going to need that tribe to support you. Right? Once you've gone through this enough times where you've built up some strength in that, we've gone through the process enough times to understand the mechanics. You've built up the reps to be able to do it. Then cool. Yeah, you could process it. You could be on your own in that. But as you're starting this, I don't recommend that. I recommend you having a group of people you can lean on for support. I'll be that person for you. You need one? Reach out. I can't promise I'm going to get back to you immediately. I'll get back to you. I'll support you. And again, we got a group, a Tab Better Club. It's a whole group of people on Facebook. We're continuing to add to that. Go join that tribe. It's just a group of people who want to help each other live a better life every day. Real low pressure, just, hey, you want to be better? Me too. Let's hang out. But you can't do it alone. And so what I want to encourage you in this Monday, because you got a fresh week ahead of you, right? Lord willing, you wake up for the next, 5 work days. You got Monday to Friday ahead of you right now. Is a blank slate. What I want you to do in this moment right now is make a declaration that you're not going to let a bad 10 minutes give you a bad day, give you a bad week. That you're going to take action when that thing happens, that you're going to stop, you're going to feel that feeling, and then you're going to leave it where it was. You're not going to allow yourself to have another bad day. Because I want you to think most of the time you don't have a bad day, you have a bad few minutes that you let spiral out of control. Because you don't know what to do with it. And I'm not blaming you. We don't teach this in society. It's not like a common thing that we learn in 4th grade is how to handle this stuff. Culture, most men, put it in a box, never feel our feelings, and we just deal with it until we ultimately have terrible relationships, we have broken homes, and then just mess. I'm not for it anymore. Well, we can't let that continue to happen. And it starts here. It starts with understanding what being mindful is, being where your feet are. Being like, all right, cool, that sucked. I'm going to admit that sucked. But I'm not going to let that thing that sucked for 10 minutes cause me to ruin the next 100 hours. Because we do it a lot. So what I want you to do this week, start with just today for me, but really it's the goal for the week, is when you feel that feeling, I want you to really sit there and feel it. You think about the lesson that was learned from that. When you think about why did this thing happen? Was it my fault? Could I have done anything better? In a lot of cases, the answer is no. Take that pressure off of yourself. It doesn't matter whose fault someone is to begin with. The thing happened. Could you have made a better decision? Maybe. If the answer is yes, figure out what that decision should have been. No for next time. But don't beat yourself up over it. It's an opportunity to grow. That's what you got to do in this scenario. You got to look at, hey, could I have done something better? Yes or no? If no, cool. Wipe your hands, say that really sucked. Let's go have a better day. If yes, wipe your hands, say, all right, now next time I know how to handle that. Wipe your hands, have a better day. Not just let this thing control the rest of our day, not just let this thing ruin our relationships, our self-image, our self-confidence. And stuff is going to suck, especially as you continue to grow. It doesn't get easier, you get stronger. I need you to remember that part. You can't think that as you continue to grow and develop and be a better version of yourself, which you are doing every day. I want you to go back and look at how far you've come over the past year, because I guarantee it's a long way. You just don't sit there and think about it because your head is so full of junk because you're not letting yourself be where your feet are. It's so freaking important that you are mindful of where you are right now, that you are mindful of where you started from, how much you've grown. And you don't let a bad 10 minutes give you a bad day. So with that, I want you to have a better week. If you are not in the Tab Better Club, I want you to go over there. It's a group on Facebook. Go look for it. There'll be a link. I'll put a link for this. Group of people who are willing to stand up and support you if you don't have a tribe, right? Because like I said, as you're walking through this, you can't do it alone. You got that bad 10 minutes, vent it out. Sometimes you don't even need someone to solve that problem. You just need a space to process it out loud. Right? And a lot of times we don't give that to each other because we're so busy looking for solutions or some way to instantly fix this thing with a magic pill or potion. A lot of times you just need a shoulder to lean on, someone to listen to you, explain it out loud, get it off your chest, then go have a better day. Okay, that's the goal for this week. Feel your feelings, leave them where they were, keep them moving. Go have a better week.